Hello, good afternoon. I hope you're all enjoying the EG Expo. Thank you so much for coming to this developer session. Special thank you as well to Deadpool and awesome costumes. We've got a very special session lined up for you next. Arthur from Traveller's Tales is going to be showing you some new and exciting in LEGO Marvel Superheroes. And so without further ado, I'm going to hand over to him.
They get a whoop there. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Brilliant to see so many of you turning up. Just to give you a brief introduction, sat over in the comfy seats, the VIP area, is Dewi. Dewi's a member of the design team at TT. And my name's Arthur Parsons. I'm the game director on LEGO Marvel Superheroes. And first of all, just to start, I just wanted to say it's brilliant. I don't know if you all know. Anyone know where we're based, TT Games? No, lots of very quiet people. We're based up in a place called Knutsford, which is near Manchester. So obviously we're British. We're very proud to be a British developer. We're very proud to be a British developer working on brilliantly huge AAA titles, AAA IPs and properties. So it's great being a British developer coming to a British event. It's really good. We're all very, very chuffed. Anyway, you're here to see the game, not hear me waffle. So apologies. So LEGO Marvel Superheroes. You're all familiar with LEGO games, right? Yeah? Yeah? I'm struggling to see you all. And can I have a show of hands at who's played a LEGO game that we've made? That's brilliant. Who hasn't? Right. That's the exit. Security will be getting in a minute. No, anyway, brilliant. So you all know what makes the LEGO games great. The focus on fun, characters, interaction, interactivity, two players dropping in, dropping out, basically having a load of fun. Has anyone been and played the game down on the floor? You have. If you haven't, check it out. There's levels, obviously, that we're going to show you something different here. But we've got Grand Central and Asgard down there, and they're two terrific levels. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you something new. You might know that LEGO Marvel features all of the Marvel character families. You're all aware of that, aren't you? You know, Fantastic Four, the Avengers, X-Men, Spider-Man, a load of other characters. We'll come back to that. And it's an original story that takes you guys, the players, and you guys at home. I just need to... Hello, everyone at the studio, if you're watching. The team are brilliant. Love you lots. Yeah, basically the game is an original story that we co-wrote with Marvel, and we wrote an original story because we wanted it to be bringing all of these families together. I've seen a couple of Deadpools, awesome cosplay by the way. Who's got favourite characters in the Marvel Universe? Yeah, anyone like Iron Man, Hulk, Spidey? You've all got a few, that's great. We're going to get lots of participation, I'm hoping, from you, lots of energy. Well, anyway, the reason that we wrote an original story is because everyone's got a different favourite character, and we wanted to bring these all together in a sort of great game. So what we're going to do is we'll kick this off. Dewi's going to basically start the ball rolling. As well as the amazing levels, Marvel wouldn't be Marvel without New York. So what we've got here is the helicarrier. Now, Dee's going to basically run to the launch pad. This is the first, when you actually play the game, this is the first time that you actually get out into New York. So you start here up on the helicarrier. Way down below, where Dee's going to go, is New York. Now, everything you see here, this is our open world that you're going to be able to play. And this is where you're going to bump into all of the great Marvel characters, have interactions. But as you can see, it's not New York as you would expect it to be. It's a Marvel and a LEGO Marvel New York. So as well as Central Park, the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty, what we've also got is brilliant Marvel locations like the Baxter Building, Stark Tower, Sanctum Sanctorum, the Raft, the X-Mansion, Oscorp, quite a lot of different stuff. So we've created this sort of like hugely sort of, yeah, achievement unlocked. Let's see if we can get a few more of those along the way. But yeah, we've created this whole playground for people to enjoy, a living, breathing New York. You know, if anyone's ever been to New York, it's the city that never sleeps. And it really isn't going to sleep when we've finished filling it with stuff to interact with. Here we've got Reed Richards, one of my favourite characters, Mr. Fantastic, and Captain America. Everybody know, well, what does Reed Richards do? Does anyone know what his special powers are? Someone's got to know. He's what? He's bendy, he is, absolutely. So, one of his powers, and this is the thing about the game that I really want you guys to take away. The focus on, for us as developers, was to make sure that every single one of these characters, and there's a lot, we'll get to that, every single one of these characters is unique, has unique moves, unique animations, unique voiceover work, everything is unique. So what Dee's going to do is he's going to run around. Mr. Fantastic, at any point in time, just because he can turn into random things. So they're not necessarily useful, but he can bounce around as a teapot. Or if I was in America, it would be a coffee pot. But he can bounce around, absolutely no purpose to it, it's just a bit of fun. But at the same by the same token, if Dee goes over to the actual gameplay in this section, throughout the game, Reed Richards is going to transform into interactions that are useful. So every time that we come across one of these Reed Richards interaction areas, he'll transform into something useful. So we can see here, Captain America's stuck the other side of the fence, which is a silly place to land on his parachute. Reed Richards can transform into bolt cutters and help him out. Now, throughout the course of the game, Reed's going to turn into, well, what have we got? If I remember rightly off the top of my head, he turns into a fire engine, he turns into an air traffic control tower, he turns into a wrecking ball, he turns into a load of crazy stuff because it's just fun to be able to do that. But he's just one character on his own, and he can do those things. We've panned that out across all the different characters. Obviously, as well, you can see he'll make his own parachute. He actually, partway through the story, he has to help save the thing because this thing's parachute breaks because he's a little bit heavy. So anyway, this bit of the story, just to bring you up to date to why it makes sense, why is the Baxter building attacking Reed Richards? The Baxter building is under threat. In the story, what's happened is, well, who's the main protagonist in most Marvel things? Does anyone know? And don't say Thanos. It's Galactus. So our story has Galactus coming to Earth. It's a threat. It's a threat to Earth. Doctor Doom has teamed up with Loki. The reason being to basically, Doctor Doom wants to save the Earth and be the hero, so that not just the people of Latveria love him, but everyone's going to kneel before him. He's looking to be worshipped and adored. So he brings together a whole cast of bad guys. So if Dee can just run through the door into the Baxter building, we'll go into one of the levels. He brings together a cast of the bad guys. So you might have seen already characters like Sandman or Abomination. In this level, we're going to see Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin. There's a load of awesome bad guys. So these bad guys come together, and then Nick Fury, who is obviously the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., he brings together the heroes. So he assembles all of the Marvel heroes. He doesn't just assemble the Avengers. And so our story takes us to epic locations like the Baxter Building, into a Hydra base, Asteroid M Island. We go into Tony Stark's Stark Tower, so we can play with some of his toys in there. Just trying to think where else we go on the story. We go up into space. We pretty much go everywhere. That's how we wrote the story. It's like, where's all the cool locations? Wrote them all down, and then we interwove our story. So you can see, you've got characters like Dr. Octopus. We've spent a lot of time to make them unique. The animators did a great job when they realized we had to have tentacles and walk around on his tentacles. But every single character has had the care and attention spent on them to make sure they feel right and they feel authentic for you guys. Did anyone see Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. last night, by the way? Yeah? Pretty cool, yeah? I thought it was awesome. And obviously, Agent Coulson lives. The reason I bring that up was I was watching it last night. It was awesome, and it made me remember a lot about the voice cast. I don't know if any of you are aware of the voice cast we've got for the game. We've got Clark Gregg. He actually voiced his own character in the game, so we've got our Agent Coulson in our game. But But our cast, in terms of the voice actors, is pretty much a who's who of video games. So for the two Deadpools at the back, we've got Nolan North voicing your good selves, which is awesome. We've got Troy Baker in there, we've got Laura Bailey, we've got Travis Willingham, Steve Blum. I'm going to forget a few people, so I apologise. But we've got like 30-plus voice actors. Every single character has got brilliant voice work. You know, John DiMaggio's in there as the voice of Galactus, amongst others. And it's all to make you believe you're in a Marvel environment and a Marvel universe. Dee's just going to finish his way through the inside of the Baxter building here. You can see, I'm kind of not really explaining this very well. I'm kind of letting you just soak it up. But I don't want to, I feel sorry for Captain America sometimes. Captain Goody Two-Shoes, Captain Stars and Stripes, he has abilities as well. You know, his vibranium shield, he can throw it into shield slots. He can use it to deflect laser beams, protect himself from fire. He's very good at combat. Every character is brilliant, even Captain America, even though he is a little bit too good for his own good, I would say. But yeah, he's not my favourite character. So anyway, what we're going to do is, when we get outside of here into an open area, I'm going to run through some of the other characters in the game, because that's really where the game comes to life. You know, we've got an epic story through 15 levels. We've got the biggest hub on the planet, open world, where you can just find all sorts of crazy stuff. There's stuff that even I was only finding out earlier this week, courtesy of Dewi and Toby back at the office. But loads of bonkers stuff where you interact with the characters that aren't necessarily in the story. Our story probably brings in about 24 playable characters as you progress through the story. You know, if you think you're going to be playing Hulk and Iron Man and Thor and Spidey and The Thing, you know, Jean Grey and Cyclops and all the rest. So there's a load of characters you play in the story, and then after the story, there's a load of other characters that we'll come to when we get outside. But our job as developers was to deliver a great Marvel experience, and that's pretty much what we sort of like really wanted to do at the start of this. So when we get outside, we are going to bring up the free play grid, and that's pretty epic. Does anyone actually know how many characters we've got in the game? No. Blank looks. How many? 130? How many? It might well be. Yeah, I'm just going to wait till Dee gets in the Fantastivator, which is obviously a very fantastic thing. I don't actually, there's a lot of people a lot younger than me in the audience. Does anyone remember the 1970s Fantastic Four cartoon? Yeah. Up here, you see right at the top there, that's the Magnetomobile from The Menace of Magneto back in the 1978 episode. Just thought I'd point that out. And there's Herbie. We've done a lot of, obviously, legwork on this. Myself and the team, we're all Marvel fans in the office. And we really wanted to make this as authentic as possible. So we've referenced comics, cartoons, we've referenced modern culture, we've referenced the movies. We've taken references from everywhere to really bring this to life. Dee, can we do the magic doodah and switch free play on? Ignore all these menus, they won't be there in the finished game. What we're going to do is we're going to bring the free play grid up. So we have over 150 playable characters in the game. So what I'm going to do, in fact, should we start it? Because it's Eurogamer, and obviously we're happy to be here, should we reveal a couple of new characters that nobody knows about yet? So we've got Carnage there. I can see Carnage loitering next to Captain Britain. Can't have a game by a British developer without Captain Britain. Good old Brian. So we've got Carnage in the game, and again, Carnage can web swing around, and he can shoot webs, and he can pretty much be not a very nice guy, I would say, is the best way to put it. So no need to put him out of his misery. Can we bring the grid up again, Dee? Let's go. Let's be very British. Can you find Union Jack on there? We were doing the other day. We were playing a little bit in the hub, and we were racing around in a Union Jack car with Union Jack and Captain Britain. It was all very British. It was quite amusing. So yeah, we've got Union Jack. He's new to the game. We had a lot of people that really, really wanted, and again, this, you know, we've not announced these. Emma Frost, if that's all right, Dee. So somewhere in amongst there, next to Electra, down 2, left 2. We've got Emma Frost, so obviously everyone knows her from X-Men, and she has a diamond form. The great thing about a diamond form is she can actually deflect laser beams and fire bolts and everything else. One thing that you may or may not have seen, just keep the grid up for a minute, Dee, if that's all right. So on this grid, because I'm kind of probably assuming that most of you will know all the characters that we've already revealed. A lot of people, obviously, that are watching the live feed will. You guys may not necessarily. So can you find Howard? Yeah, Howard the Duck. Now, everyone's obviously seen the movie. Well, you probably haven't, actually. Howard the Duck is better known for his movie than the fact that he was in comic books. He is actually a Marvel comic book character. So we have our colleagues over at Marvel to thank for this. They were desperate to get Howard into a game, and they have now successfully got Howard into the game. He's just a bit of fun. He's very funny. Can you bring the grid up again? But if you look around the grid, you know, we've got great characters in there like Ghost Rider and Green Goblin, Magneto, obviously Loki. Can you go and put Stan on? And everyone knows who Stan Lee is, right? Yeah, you know, there obviously would be no Marvel without the great man himself. Now, there's been previous games where the King of Cameos has made an appearance, and we wanted to outdo it. So Stan has the powers of Spider-Man. He also has this, which is the coolest thing ever. He can transform into Stan Hulk, which is pretty epic. Can you just transform back to Stan, Dee? And do something that I would recommend nobody does. If you can just switch over to Reed and then change him to Human Torch and toast Stan, if that's all right. He has every power. So if you tag to him and run around, he's got an adamantium skeleton like Wolverine, so he's invulnerable. He can't really be damaged. He also has the ability to beams of fire out of his eyes on the B button, I think. But Stan has pretty much every ability that we could possibly get onto him. He also has mind control and telekinesis, and he's a game breaker. So you won't actually get to unlock Stan until you've found him throughout the game. Does everyone know what a civilian in peril is? If you've played previous LEGO games, you know, it's the guy that's getting beaten up on the side of a building, or it was one of the students in Hogwarts when we did Harry. Throughout the game, what we've done is we've put Stan in perilous positions throughout the game. So there's 50 Stan Lees, and a lot of them are cameos that we've kind of parodied. And when you rescue all of Stans, then you get to unlock Stan. So, but you can see here we've got Iceman. Dave, can you go up to the top of the ladder and then jump and glide off as Iceman? Going back to the characterization thing, you can see here, Iceman does everything as you would expect him to. So, and die just like you'd expect him to. He does everything as you'd expect him to. So he ice skates around, he can freeze people, he can glide on like Lego ice that he creates. And it's all to do with, again, this characterization that we've been making so much of, or that I've been making so much of. Can you bring Squirrel Girl up, actually, while you've still got some enemies on screen? And then do the hold B special move. So, like, even someone like Squirrel Girl, she has the power to bring in an army of squirrels. Now, if you imagine you've got, like, 20 Hydrogoons on screen, and you bring this, there's, like, something like 500 squirrels come onto the screen and just kaboom, blow up everywhere, which is awesome. So, even the most... I shouldn't say peripheral, because Squirrel Girl's great, but even the most obscure characters have had time and effort spent on them. Like, she can glide with these squirrel wings, and every character has had a lot of love put into them, and a lot of work and a lot of effort. can you just put, and she throws exploding squirrels, which is brilliant. Can you just go to Whiplash, because we've not announced Whiplash before. So Whiplash is an awesome character. He's new as well, so nobody will have seen we've got Whiplash until this point in time. And again, he's just a great character. He has obviously the electrified whip, so you can do some of the whip moves. And he looks brilliant. He's one of the best minifigs I think I've seen. So we've got Whiplash. I'm cheating, I've got it written on my hand, I'd forgotten one. Can you bring Miss Marvel up as well, Dee? Did that get a whoop from someone? Awesome. We've got a whoop and a holler. So wherever she is, there we go. And again, it's the whole characterization. Every character has abilities. You know, myself and the team back in Knutsford, we've looked at each character and distilled that character, what makes the character cool, personality, abilities, looks, and then created a Lego version of that. Because we've had a lot of incredibly obscure requests since the game was first announced. We've had a lot of character X, character Y. There's a few characters like, you know, there was so many people wanted Ghost Rider. And something as well that we want to do for today, believe it or not, there was an online petition set up. And these guys are probably watching on the live feed. There's an online petition set up wanting a certain character in the game. And they've been tweeting us on social media and messaging us, and yeah, we get requests all the time. So what we're going to do, Dee, can you do the other one all the way through across to the left? So what we've got with Venom is something that all these cool characters can do is transform. So this is, we decided we would listen and appease everyone. So this is for everyone that's watching at home. And so we've got Venom Big Fig in the game now, which is awesome, and will make a lot of people online happy. But you can see as well, if Dee transforms back, all these transforms are different. Can you go to Kurt Connors, who's one of my favourites, wherever he is, all the way to the right next to Mr. Damage Control. So again, you know, we put a lot of effort into getting some of these characters, and you can see we're drawing from the whole Marvel universe here. So we have Kurt Connors can transform into Lizard. We've got General Ross can transform into Red Hulk. Obviously, Bruce Banner can turn into Hulk, which is epic. And is there any Spider-Man fans out there? Brilliant. Can you just get Spidey on and just show what Spidey does? Because people might not be aware of just the normal Spider-Man gameplay. Spider-Man was a massively hard character to get right. Just because he's just a break from the norm. So with Spidey, we've given him Spidey senses. He can web swing around, and it's very satisfying when you're going around the open world New York as Spider-Man, just swinging through. It's like the intro, you know, the titles to the movies. It just feels like that, but in Lego form. It's really good. Honest. So what I'm going to do is. Because I could go on for hours and hours, and I don't think that's necessarily the right thing to do here. So we revealed a few new characters. You've seen some new gameplay. You've had a very sneak peek at the open world city. What I'd rather do is give a decent amount of time to a Q&A, if that's all right, and then give as many people as possible a chance to ask questions. So we're going to keep the gameplay up. Dee's going to keep playing it in the background, showing stuff.
Everybody in the audience, sorry about that, raise your hand, and also as an added incentive, anybody who asks a question will get a Lego Spider-Man keyring as well. Yeah, obviously more hands going up all of a sudden. So yeah, there's a question just over there. Oh no, in fact, there's one.
There's one right at the front there.
One right at the front. Oh, hang on a second.
What's your favourite character and why?
My personal favourite character is The Thing, and the reason it's my favourite character, or he's my favourite character, is because he says clobbering time a lot, which is really silly, but when I was your age, I used to watch an awful lot of Fantastic Four cartoons, and I thought they were brilliant. And in the story, we actually make a massive, so there's the thing, we make a massive play on that aspect, so he's definitely my favourite character. Good question.
Thank you very much. We have one at the back just here as well. Can you stand up when you ask a question as well, please?
Hey, are you planning to put an end to the DLC with so many characters in the game now? Or will it be
Good question.
Will there be additional costumes as DLC? Obviously, I'm thinking...
No, what we've done, and this is obviously very important, there are some DLC packs available, but what we've done is they're actually one of them is a pre-order incentive. There's actually a few different pre-order incentives for the game if you shop around at various retailers. But you'd think with the Marvel Universe, 150 characters, we've kind of covered it. We haven't. There's so many characters in the Marvel Universe. And the pre-order DLC pack, I think, has got some epics in there, like Winter Soldier, Thanos, A-Bomb. I can't remember off the top of my head who else is in there. But we have got some brilliant ones in there. So thank you.
Thanks. And we have a question just over there, please. Thanks. Can you stand up, sorry, when you ask a question?
Yeah,
Thank you.
A couple of things. Really cool T-shirt. Where can I buy one?
These are actually these are work T-shirts, believe it or not.
Nice job. Second bit, it's more of an observation. When Reed Richards turns into a teapot, short and stout, shouldn't his handle appear first?
Yeah, you'll have to ask the animators.
We have one just up here in the back, and Deadpool's going to answer
Hi.
the question.
Hi.
With characters like Punisher,
Yes.
and trying to port that's like quite a dark and grim character in a very friendly game, was it difficult trying to get such like a dark character who's pretty much just like a serial killer, but making him nice and family friendly?
If you think of some of the other properties we've ventured into with Lego games, we do go to some dark places. You know, characters like Voldemort. With the Marvel ones, it's much, much more fun because we can have fun at their expense. So characters like Deadpool or Punisher, who are these more mature characters, when you go out into the city in New York and you're playing there, you do different quests or different missions involved. The Punisher, for example, we've made into a bit of an eco-warrior. So he goes out there with his battle van, trying to take down the bad guys with their gas-guzzling vans. He's still a bit of a hard nut, but he's obviously done in a very, very tongue-in-cheek, kid-friendly fashion. Deadpool, obviously, because you're wearing a Deadpool outfit, which is awesome. Deadpool is obviously, again, a very mature character. And what we... Okay, you're right. He's a very immature, adult-orientated character. So what we've done is we've done a very, very, very Lego-fied take on him. He's still very sarcastic. He's still far out with his humour. And he takes the mickey out of all the characters. He just doesn't use any expletives. And it works really, really well.
Thank you very much.
So, yeah, thank you.
We have a question up there. And can we get a microphone in the front row as well, please? Thanks.
How big will the open world map be?
It's difficult to put it in terms of an amount of, in terms of size or anything. It's not as big as the real New York, but it's relatively big in comparison with, if you've played any of our other games, it's comparative. We've basically gone all the way from one end of Manhattan Island to the other, and then we sort of like, we couldn't go 45 miles out to Westchester, so we had to bring the X-Mansion in a little bit, so we cheated a little bit. But it's huge. The playthrough time on this game that the testers are having is pretty epic. It's a massive, massive game. And just so that you all know, the game's obviously going to be coming out on Wii U, PS3, 360, PC, but it's also a launch title on Xbox One and PS4. And we really have pushed the boundaries, and the team have done a great job of pushing the boundaries on this to get as much content in there as possible. So you'll see in the city, it's just rammed with Lego.
Cool, thank you. We have a couple of questions in the front row starting with you. Thanks.
Why did you add bad guys into the game?
Well, funnily enough, the reason we put bad guys in is because generally everyone likes to play the bad guys. Everybody likes to play the guys that they've been duffing up all the way through the game. So for me, it's great running around, being able to play as Doctor Doom. It's great to be able to play as Loki. Loki's a really cool character. It's great to be able to play as Venom or Green Goblin. Green Goblin's got this awesome glider and he pumpkin bombs at people. They're the best characters, the bad guys. So yeah, we put quite a lot of effort into the bad guys because that's what most people like playing.
Thank you very much. We have one more question in the front row, then we'll move to the back.
Why did... how long did the minions take each hour?
Oh, right, okay. Well, you've got, I think, I can't remember, there's 150-something characters. You can play in the game for as long as you want, you know, but to play the story, it's entirely up to you. We've done a lot of sort of focus tests with people about your age, and we expect them to sort of go off and play the story and everything else, or play the city. They spend most of their time getting, like, distracted by other stuff and going and doing some of the random side quests or side missions. I went to New York recently to an event where we had some kids your age playing the game, and we had the brothers, these two brothers. They spent the whole time duffing each other up, picking a different character. So one went Hulk, and then he started smashing the other guy up, and then he went and the Human Torch, and he was burning that guy, and then he was going someone else. And they spent, I think, 25 minutes solid in one location beating each other up, which, you know, it's testament to the game, but we were kind of looking to get some more focused feedback out of them, but yeah, it was good fun.
Thank you very much. We have a question in here as well. Who's got the microphone, is it? Thank you.
Where did you get the inspiration for the superheroes like Squirrel Girl?
Like I say, a lot of when we set out to make the game, we had a cap on the number of characters. We were going to make a game with 100 characters, 100 playable characters, but we couldn't cut enough characters, basically, and so, you know, it was like, you know, there was obviously Dee and myself wanted characters, and then the animators, and then Marvel wanted characters, Lego wanted characters, and then we had lots of people contacting us via social media wanting characters, so it kind of snowballed a little bit, and we just kept going until we ran out of space, and so that's why we've ended up with so many. But the Marvel Universe has over 7,000 characters. I think it might actually be 8,000. So we've picked the ones that we think are the ones that people are going to want the most. You know, like next year, there's going to be awesome Guardians of the Galaxy film, so Rocket Raccoon's in the game. You've got Captain America Winter Soldier's out, so we've got Winter Soldier in the game. The new Thor Dark World movie, which looks awesome, is out very, very soon. So we've got characters from that. We've got Agent Coulson, Maria Hill. We've basically got as many characters as we could. So we've kind of been topical, as well as, you know, Silver Samurai's in there from the recent Wolverine movie, which you might not have seen. But yeah, there's a lot of characters. Our inspiration is the brand. It's you know, it's great to work on it.
We have a question here. Thank you.
Oh, can you hear me? Can I just ask, first of all, for the audience to give you a round of applause for doing the best Lego games regarding Star Wars games I've ever seen. So thank you very much, guys, first of all.
Thank you. Well, that's obviously the team back in Knutsford as well. There's obviously a lot of people that work very, very hard back there.
My second part is that currently at the moment, obviously, Back to the Future Lego has just gone on sale. And obviously it's a massive franchise that everybody loves. I know you guys are doing some work on Jurassic Park, I believe, but is there anything regarding...
That's news to me.
Is there anything regarding regarding Back to the Future in the...
No.
In the future?
No. For us, believe it or not, even as the game director of this, I get told very little. You know, I get tasked with, you know, make this game with a team, and away we go, and away we do it. We only got to see next-gen dev kits very, very recently, in the last couple of months. So they basically lock us away, and we go and make a brilliant game. So, yeah, we don't know. All we've been focusing on is making Marvel as awesome as it can be. Anything else, we don't know anything about.
Cheers. We've got time for 2 more questions, starting off with one just over here.
Why did you choose to have a Marvel-based Lego game?
That's a great question. It's one that we get sort of asked quite a lot. The reason we get asked quite a lot, you might not necessarily know, but due to obviously who owns Marvel and obviously who owns us, which is Warner Brothers. So the reason we made this game is because it's it was something that people kept asking us about. You know, we get a lot of people asking for a lot of different Lego games, and you know, there was that many people getting in touch saying we would like you to make a Lego Marvel game that you know, we couldn't not make it. And I've been a massive Marvel fan for ages, so when I found out, I was super excited about it, as with everyone else. So yeah, the reason was just that's what people wanted.
Cool. I'm afraid this is the last question, and it's just here. Thank you.
Hi, you mentioned before, obviously New York and Asgard. What other places will we get to visit? This is where I get a bit of I'm going to have to run through it in my head. So, Sanctum Sanctorum, Fogwell's Gym, Baxter Building, New York Power Plant. It's not so exciting because it's, you know, I suppose, yeah, it could be classed as exciting. It's a good level, actually. Where else do we go? I'm trying to work my way around the map. Obviously, we go to the X Mansion. We also go to the Raft. We go to Asteroid M Island. We also go into space, onto Asteroid M in space. Pretty much everywhere. There wasn't anywhere that we didn't get in that I really wanted to go. So, you know, we even put a secret Hydra base under the Empire State Building, which is really good. So, yeah, we've tried to go everywhere because, again, that's kind of what people wanted us to do. So, yeah, you know, obviously you've got the Daily Bugle. We even go to Marvel headquarters. Vulture and Howard the Duck. This isn't in the story, but Vulture and Howard the Duck take some of the editors of Marvel hostage, demanding more comic book coverage. And a new movie, and so you have to go in and rescue them. But there's a load of hidden levels in the game that are like that. They're like little side stories. You know, there's one where Magneto's forgotten his chess set. It's in his prison cell. Mysterio's run off with it. So as Magneto and Mystique, you have to go and get his chess set back off Mysterio. But there's, you know, that's all hidden away inside the game. As is some other stuff. As you'll know, with every Marvel movie, there's something awesome after the credits. So when people buy this game in November when it comes out, make sure you watch the credits and other stuff, because there's some really good stuff hidden away, which I can't tell you about, but I just have, so there you go. I'll get in trouble, but I don't mind. Yeah, there's bonus level. You know, everyone wants a disc at Tony Stark's, right? So let's do some stuff like that. There's loads of cool hidden stuff, but you'll only find it sort of as you get to play through it. But like I say, just because we're pretty much coming to the end of this now, the game is out. I believe that the release date is 15th of November in Europe. It's different stateside, but it's 15th of November Europe on pretty much all platforms. And on handheld, it's a different game. It's a different game experience. It's called, if I remember right, Universe in Peril, which is pretty epic. So yeah, 15th of November, and it's one of those, hunt out some brilliant pre-order stuff. There's a brilliant little Iron Patriot. I've got one on my desk. He's very, very cool. I don't know where you get him from, but I'm sure you can find it. But yeah, the game's out, and there'll be a demo. I'm not sure when the demo's out, but we've got a demo on most platforms that will be getting out there before launch as well.
Cool. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your awesome questions. That was absolutely fantastic. And of course, thank you very much to Arthur. I thought that was an absolutely brilliant presentation. So please, a round of applause for Arthur and Lego Marvel Superheroes.
Thank you.